and welcome to my channel. I know this is a very long overdue video. I'm sorry it's kind of dark in here. Seems to be the only time I can find to do these videos is in my car when I'm waiting for something. So it's 7:28 a.m. and we were having a thunderstorm. Now it's just raining, but I'm at a urology appointment. I mean, who books an appointment for 7:45? But that's what they gave me. So you're probably wondering why I'm at a urology appointment, and I'm gonna get to that. So I haven't done a video because a lot has happened since my AVM foot surgery. If you haven't seen that video, I will try and link it below so you can watch that first. But I had that surgery on August 28th, and then 9 days later I had another surgery. So 2 surgeries in 9 days, and the second surgery was an emergency surgery. So just before, I guess it was like August 5th, 6th time frame, I had this sudden onset abdominal pain. I'm telling you, it was literally like death. And it was so bad. So earlier on in that day, I was out. It was a beautiful day. I ate really clean plant-based vegan. For those that don't know, I am vegan. You know, I had a smoothie in the morning. I had a raw wrap at lunch. I had some cashews. I didn't even overeat. And I came home. I went up to my room around 8 o'clock and was exhausted from the day's events and was lying down. And out of nowhere, I had this chest pain, like right between your breasts almost. And it started to feel like maybe I was having heartburn. So those that know me know that I am pharma-free, that I don't take I don't advocate for taking pharmaceuticals. However, I do believe that there is a time and place for it. But I also believe that the body's natural state is health. And if you give it what it needs in proper nutrition, potentially you might need some supplements here and there, you know, movement, and you're working on your mind and your spirit, you can pretty much overcome a lot of things. So this pain was so bad. I knew that my daughter had a bottle of Tums in her room that she had bought for New Year's one year. Anyways, I text her. Literally, she's in the next room, but I text her and said, oh my God, I'm having the worst heartburn. Can I have some of your Tums? And she's pharma-free too. So she's like, I don't have Tums, but I secretly go in her room when she's not there and use her curling iron, her blow dryer, because she works in a hair salon, so it's way better than my cheap shit. And I had noticed that she had a bottle of Tums, so I'm like, it's right, blah blah blah. And she's like, oh my God, these are so old, like 2 or 3 years old. I'm like, I don't care, I need them. So she brought them in, and I immediately ate one, then like 5-10 minutes later ate another one, then ate another one, and the pain was just amplifying, like it was exacerbating. And it started shooting to my mid back. And I believe it was a work night, so I didn't want to have to tell my husband, like, we need to go to the hospital, because I didn't want him to have to. He gets up at like 4 in the morning to drive to work around 5. And I couldn't stand it, so I texted him. He was downstairs watching TV or sleeping on the couch. And I was like, babe, you need to come up here. So he comes upstairs, and I'm like, you need to rub my back. Like, you need to burp me. I know it sounds weird, but that's what it felt like. I'm like, just pat my back. And it was just making the pain worse. So he's like, we need to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I started putting on clothes, pajamas, because I sleep in a tank top and panties. But as soon as I did that, I laid on the floor and I was like, oh my God, crack my back, because that's what I felt like. Maybe I need to have my back crack. And I often get my kids to do that, where I'll just lie like my arms straight out and they'll like press along my spine. And he did it, and I'm like, no. So anyways, I don't even remember making it downstairs, and then I started feeling super nauseous. So I was dry heaving, and the pain was exacerbating. Like, it is the worst pain. I would rather have kids out my ass than ever go through that again. So I was on the floor in the kitchen and I couldn't get up, and my husband's like, I don't care, I'm calling an ambulance. And I guess I was hyperventilating from the pain being so bad. Like, the look on my husband's face was like a deer in headlights, and he later said that he'd never seen me have that like look on my face having that much pain. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it was hell. So I couldn't feel my arms. Like, my arms started going numb. Then I started getting really scared, thinking, oh my God, I'm literally having a heart attack. So he calls for an ambulance. They come. I'm super embarrassed, but I'm in so much pain. I can't even tell you what the EMS workers look like because I couldn't open my eyes. So they ended up putting a 12 leads on me, like heart monitor. And they're like, we need to take you. And I'm like, no, like, I'll be okay. I still don't want to go. And they're like, no, like, we need to take you. So they sat me in a chair in the hallway of my kitchen. My daughter brought over a chair and grabbed me a sweater and my health card. And then they walked me out my front porch and put me on a stretcher. Still hooked up to this lead. I just about get in the ambulance, and I feel like the pain is subsiding. So I'm like, I don't think I need to go. And they're like, no, we really still think that it's worth taking you in. And boom, the pain shot up again. And so the EMS worker said, I feel like it's gallbladder. And I'm like, gallbladder? So anyways, long story short, I get to the hospital, and they are checking my heart. And so they do this blood test and tell me that I'm going to be there at least another 5 hours because they have to retest it after 5 hours. So they hooked me up to an IV. They gave me some pain meds, which really helped. And at that point, I sent my husband home. I said, you might as well go home and sleep because there's nothing you can do for me here. And I'm feeling okay now that I've had some pain meds. Hydromorph is no joke, I'm telling you that much. And I said, I'll just call you if and when they release me. So that happened, and the blood test came back and they said, no, your heart is fine. And they're like, how's your pain now? When they originally asked me, I'm like, ooh, it's like at a 14. And at that time it was like a 5 or a 6. So they sent me home because they're fucking assholes, I guess. And anyways, I go home, and the very next day I could have went back. The pain came back, and then over the course of a month I could have went back 8 or 9 times. And I was like, I didn't want to go because I thought, well, they're just gonna send me home. I don't want to look like I'm being a giant baby or like nothing's wrong. And a month to the day later, same thing. I'm in my room, I'm in bed, wakes me up from a dead sleep, and it's excruciating pain, and I literally cannot deal with it. So I go downstairs, I say to my husband, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe, but like, I need to go back to the hospital. Like, I can't do it. So anyways, he takes me back, and I'm in the waiting room for 2 hours. I mean, I'm reeling in pain. I can't sit still. I'm this way, I'm that way, I'm leaning forward. I'm in a wheelchair because I had foot surgery 9 days earlier. And I'm crying to him in the waiting room, and I'm like, babe, like, just take me out of here and take me somewhere else. Like, and the tears are streaming. And I literally don't, like, I'll emotionally cry in front of somebody, but I don't really pain cry in front of anybody. And I'm like, you need to take me out. So anyways, the doctor calls me in. They put me in another room, and I'm waiting. I guess it's like a student doctor, I forget a resident doctor. And he's like, the other doctor's gonna come in, and boom, I start throwing up. I'm like, Dave, I'm gonna throw up. So he finds this like paper bowl or something like that. I vomit in it. The doctor comes in, And he's like, did you just, no, my husband goes out and tells the doctor, listen, her symptoms are changing, now she's vomiting. So then the doctor comes in and he's like, okay, listen, we're going to get you an ultrasound. He asks where the pain is, what it feels like, looks at my bowl of vomit, and he's like, did you just eat? And I'm like, no, that was like 3 o'clock, and it wasn't even, I know, TMI, it wasn't digested. So he's like, okay, we're going to get you an ultrasound, we're going to give you an IV with some pain meds. And they send me up for an ultrasound, and it was like a student and somebody training her doing it. It was fine. And then I come back downstairs to emergency, and the doctor comes in and says, listen, we looked at your ultrasound, and you need your gallbladder out right now. You have gallstones, your gallbladder is inflamed, and you have a blood infection around it. So I'm like, holy shit. So they're like, we're just contacting the surgeon, and they're gonna take you this evening. And I was like, whoa, like, I wasn't over the trauma of having a surgery 9 days ago. Nobody ever expects when they go to emergency that they're not gonna walk out, that you're gonna have another surgery. And now, 9 days later, I'm literally in a couple of hours going in to have an organ removed. And I know that gallbladder is a pretty common surgery, but it's an organ. Nobody can say you don't need it. Yes, you can live without it, but you're born with all the organs you're born with because they have a purpose in your body. And I didn't know at the time. I mean, I was on a lot of pain meds. Really what having my gallbladder taken out, how that would make me feel. But I don't want this video to go on too long. I'm gonna have to make this segment into 3, possibly, because the story gets way more cray cray after this. Usually for gallbladder surgery, you're in, and then after recovery you go home. I ended up being admitted for 6 days. So I'm gonna get to all of that, but for now I'm gonna end this video here, and then I'll give you a part 2 and potentially a part 3, but I promise it's gonna be worth it. So if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe now, please. It would mean a lot to me. Don't forget to hit the little blue bell that will notify you when my next video goes up, so you don't want to miss that. And give this video a thumbs up, because that's like a little bit of cyber love, and who doesn't need that? So ciao for now, and I'll talk to you later.